Okay, hopefully I'll keep this fairly short, but this video is going to be creating a very basic model in Blender. I'm not going to go into how to use Blender, but basically going to show the absolute minimum you need to do to make a model work in Worm Unlimited in a mod. Okay, so I'm going to start up Blender. And it always starts with a light source, a camera source, and a cube. Just does that every time. I'm just going to get rid of the light source and the camera source. We don't need them. I'm also going to get rid of the cube. Okay, I'm going to add a sphere. Now, first thing we need to note is that the axis, which will be at 0, 0 in the middle there, that is basically floor height, where if I move it like this, that is basically floor height across that red area, or if you go to the side, that green area, that is floor. Okay, so if you left the model like that, half of the model would be underground. So I'm just going to move that up. I'm going to zoom in just to, yeah, it looks pretty good. So that point in the middle, like I said, is the center point. So if, for example, you offset your item and you put it over there somewhere in game, it will be putting this spot in the center there as where the item actually is. So if you actually put the model, like 3 tiles away or something, the interaction for it would actually be where the center of it is as you're making it now, not where the object is. So it would just completely mess things up. So remember that, because you might get a bit messed up. I'm going to put it back to the middle just by changing this, and I'm going to put that to 1, so that should be pretty much perfectly in position now. One thing I will mention though is scale is very important for when you're actually doing texturing. So when you're painting it or making it look different. If, for example, it was like this, you can see the scale. X is 1, Y is 0.5, and Z is 1. It would have issues trying to do the uh, do the texturing. I'm not going to go into explaining it all, but what's important is they need to be 1, 1, and 1. You can change that. You press Control A while you have the object there selected, object mode, Control A, and then scale, and that will set whatever the size of it is to 1, 1, 1. All right, changes the scale, won't actually change the object. I want to put that back to a circle though, and notice it changed the scale. Yeah, and so we need to go Control A, scale. So it's a circle now, and it's 1, 1, 1 on the scale. That's the important things. Right, we're going to go to UV editing now. I'm going to create a new material image. I'm just going to call it, what am I going to call it? It's a ball, but I don't want to call it ball. I already did that in another one. Well, I'm all lost now. I hate naming things, I really do. That's silly. I'm just going to call it sphere, whatever. Important things to note is width and height are as in pixels, and with Wurm it needs to be divisible by 4. So 1024 works, 512 works. Anything divisible by 4 is okay. If it's not, if you did like 511, that would actually look messed up in game. It doesn't work properly. So 512. The size of this doesn't really matter at this stage. I'm just going to change this to be something else just to change it. Alpha's fine, doesn't really matter. You can turn it off. And we're just going to do that. So this has created an image to use, but at the moment it's actually not being used, okay? we are in edit mode. We'll go object mode. We don't actually have a material at the moment. We'll make a new one. I'll just call it sphere material. That'll work. Need to change that to mode to see this over here. Now we need to change this to shader editor, and we are on sphere material, which is important, and we need to add a texture and image texture. I'm just going to put that there. I'm doing this quick because this is stuff that you can learn by watching, Blender videos. Need to put on the sphere, which is there. I probably could have named it something else, but that'll do. If you don't do that, then you're basically not coloring the object. Simple as that, We're going to change this to texture paint. I'm going to click it on that one there. Now, when I paint this, not green, don't do green and blue together. Alright, and we can just paint it. There we go. Give ourselves a little bit of, just so that we can see difference, You can see what's going on. You can see that it's painting over here. I don't know, something a bit darker. See what that does. Alright, important thing is that I'm just putting something on there. It's some sort of color, so it's not going to be just white. Okay, the image, we need to do a save as. We could click save, but because it hasn't been saved yet, it's going to do save as anyway. I usually do PNG. I am going to save this in 3D files. I'm deliberately going to save this in a separate folder to where I'm going to save the model, and I'll explain when I get to that later why. Alright, so sphere.png, I've put it in 3D files. That's good enough. I'm now going to export this. I'm going to do 2 different exports so that you can see how both of them work. I'm going to go into the same folder, but I'm going to create a new one. New folder. I'll just name it sphere. That'll do. Okay. So this one is an object, so I'm going to call it sphere object. Over here, important things to note is Y is up, forward. You can do -Z or Z. You'll have to play around with that. I like to click on material groups as well. But important thing is triangulate faces. Wurm likes triangles, doesn't necessarily like squares. And that's pretty much it for your settings. If you can't see that, it's that little cog there to bring your presets or your preferences up. Yeah. So Y needs to be up, and triangulate faces, otherwise sometimes it can get pretty messed up. So I'm going to export that one, and then again I'm going to export it this time as a DAE, and I'm going to put it in the same folder. Where are we? Sphere. And this time I'm going to name it sphere DAE.DAE. I'll explain that in a sec. Alright, so we don't need this anymore. Okay, let's go to where that stuff is. Now, the image is in here, which was called sphere. There it is, sphere PNG. And in here, there it is. Alright. Oh, hang on. I exported the material as well when I was doing one of them. I didn't do the DAE. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Alright, so DAE. So your settings on this one, it's a little bit set up differently. So I've got Z up, which is wrong. I need Y up, and I'm going to do Z forward. Geometry says triangulate, so that's good. I don't need animation, so I can untick that, and it shouldn't matter. Okay, now I'm going to do it again. So I messed that up a little. I'm going to overwrite that one. Okay, so I'll go back here. Now, I deliberately saved that originally in a different folder. because if you open the DAE with like Notepad or anything like that, we're looking for this here. So when I exported the DAE, it created the sphere here. I didn't actually save it there. I saved it somewhere else. So I did that deliberately. But anyway, the point is you need to open it up just in case, and you need to come here. And I'll show you why on the MTL, because it could have actually been written like that here. So this could have actually looked like that. So that's where it is on the local drive. So it's saying you need to go to E drive, the folder is 3ds files, and then, no, it's not even in, oh, yeah, it was there. All right. Anyway, so you need to check that because it's important, because when you put it on your server, it's going to look for that on the E drive of the server, which may not even exist. What you want is just the file name with nothing else, okay? So I'm going to put that back the way it was, and this one here, I need to get rid of that part and just the file name. Alright, I'm going to save that now. That's important. You can mess that up and spend hours trying to work out why it didn't work. You should also, if the file didn't save there, you should also put it there. So I would have gone down here to sphere and I would have copied that and then put it in there and then just pasted it in there, which doesn't matter. Okay, next thing we need to do is we need to use our wurm converter. I've got a few because we've done a few updates on it, or Biju has done a few updates on it, not me. So I've been, testing and things like that. So anyway, I need to go to here. Might be talking a bit fast, but just rewind it, doesn't matter. Object, I'm going to do that one, and I'm also going to do the other one, which is the DAE. So the reason I named them differently was because the wurm converter would create a wurm file of whatever the name was. So if I named them both sphere.dae and sphere.object, when I used the wurm converter, it would have been sphere.wurm, and the second time I did it would have just overridden the first one. So that's why we've got all these. Now I'm not going to go into how to do the modding side of things. I am going to put it into an existing mod. I need to open the WinRAR and get rid of that. So I'm going to paste them in here. So this is a server pack which I'm using in a mod already. I need to go to mappings.txt and I'm just going to add some down the bottom there. I might do creatures of some kind. Here we go. Wildcat, that one will do. I'll put that in there. Hyena, nah. How about a chicken? I'll change it. No, not the chicken, because you got brown and white and black, so I don't want that. Rooster, no. Humanoid chicken? Why is there a humanoid chicken? What the hell? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Sea serpent, yeah, we'll do that one as well. Get a couple more. Shark. I'm trying to pick ones that don't have like male and female, just because I'm just trying to show you something. And seal. Yep, that'll do. Okay, so I need to designate which model file to use for this sort of stuff. You can see in these other ones, actually, this one's in a folder called chess, so you can use folders and things like that. I'm not stressing about that for this example, but what we do need is, it was sphere, so down here somewhere. So one of them is going to refer to that name. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do the other one. These are both wurm files. I'm going to do the object file. And I'm also going to do the DAE file. So copying all those over here. I'm going to save that. Just going to reduce it, update the archive, and I'm going to start up the server. So I've been running through this fairly quickly because, yeah, it could turn into a half an hour video if I don't. So I'm doing it quick. If you missed a few things, just hit rewind and, go back and watch it again. Utacha, Drake Spirit. Alright, so I made let's see, I did a sea serpent, I'm pretty sure, is one of them. So I'll pop that one there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's cool. I also did a shark. Somewhere down here. It's really not called shark. So what's it called then? Why couldn't you just call a shark a shark? This is how often I actually summon stuff, obviously. Huge shark. There we go. Found it. Alright, that one obviously didn't work. What else have we got? Wildcat and a seal. Summon a wildcat down the bottom. There it is. That one worked in a way. And one more seal. There it is. Okay, so we have all of our models as such. I'm going to move this off so that where's summon? There it is. And this one too. Okay. So as a GM, when we pointed it, it gives us model information. So this one here is sphereobject.wom, W-O-M. We can see that the model is nice and round. It is how it should be. And we can see that the actual texture that we painted on the material is as it should be. So that is, it's actually spinning around and moving. Look out. This one over here is the DAE file. So sphere.dae, the model worked fine, but the actual texture material isn't there at all. Next one over here is the sphere.dae converted to a WOM. It has been rotated 90 degrees, so it is probably doing the Z up instead of Z forward. That'd be my guess, and I've seen this many times. So, and the other one is over here, which is just a dot object, which should be the one that's missing, I'm pretty sure. So the shark. The shark is the dot object, which never seems to work. So that's what I expected to see when I did this. So what this is showing to you is creating the dot object, exporting it as an object file, and then using the WOM converter gets you something that works. So the model is there. Obviously it's made bigger. This isn't because of the model, it's because of Sea Serpent is just bloody huge. Not because of that. If we do Drake Spirit, what does that say? Yeah, creature, Drake Spirit. We'll change, what's that one? Sea Serpent. That one there, Drake Spirit. That should be enough to make the Drake Spirit look like that one. Okay, so I'm going to jump out of here and reboot the server. Save the change as I did. Should update. Do you wish to update the archive? Absolutely. Start it up again. So this time the sphere shouldn't be huge, but being a spirit, it's probably going to be like translucent. You're going to probably see halfway through it, kind of thing. Okay, it's updating, and there it is. Zoom over a little further. So the size is the same as the other one. If I summon it over next to it, I guess. Okay. So they're not the same size. The Drake Spirit's still a little bit larger. But again, I expect that is because the Drake Spirits are just told to be larger as opposed to anything else. And you can see that it's translucent. You can even look through it. Isn't that freaky? Okay, so as a summary, the .dae model looks fine, but it doesn't have the texture. The DAE converted to a wurm changes the axis. The object doesn't work at all, but the one we want is the object converted to a wurm, and that one is what works. So that's what we want. If we go over here and have a look inside here, these are the paintings that I just did the other day. So they are object files converted to a wurm file. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment, is all object and then using the wurm converter on them to make them work in game. So you can see the different things that took a bit of trial and error to work out what works and what doesn't work. I was trying the .dae for a long time trying to make it work, and it was just yeah, it wasn't really working no matter what I did. But using the new wurm converter that Bijou came out with, it is definitely working. I will say that the original wurm converter that was put on the website, I tried many times and it just didn't work. Apparently it was just set up a little bit incorrectly with the file, how the folders and stuff is used. So anyway, so there we have it. You have a object file converted to a wurm file, and now it is in game and working. All the other ways didn't really work as intended. The .dae, the DAE converted to a wurm does definitely have the texture, and the model itself is definitely there, but the axis has been changed, which makes it difficult to handle. If you're using Blender, you may as well just export it as an object, convert it to a wurm, and there you have it. That's all good. Just a reminder about the things to remember: converting when you're exporting with an object. We want the geometry, triangulate faces. Writing materials is probably a good one. I think that creates the MTL. Include UVs. Obviously I didn't need in this one because I didn't have, oh no, I did have the UVs in that one, but anyway, so I just have those ticked. Y is up, Z is forward, material groups, and there you go. It'll give you an object and an MTL. Make sure you open up the MTL with an editor, text editor, and make sure that this name doesn't have all the folders before it. Make sure it's just that name, and then use your wurm converter on it, and then just make sure that that image file is in the same folder as the model file. If you're going to use folders and stuff, then you know you'll probably have to add that sort of thing in there, but honestly you're better off not having the headache of trying to work out why it didn't work in the first place. So this is how it works for me. Other people might do it differently, but at least you'll be able to skip all the many days and weeks of headaches that I had trying to make the models actually work into the game, and you can get to actually making stuff and putting it in there. So hopefully this helps a few people, and hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, but that's the basics of it, and that's this video. I'll probably make another video about the actual modding side of putting new models in. Not today. It's like 11 PM at the moment, so it's getting a little late. And yeah, I'll get to that later. Hopefully you enjoyed this, comments and all that sort of stuff. Pop it down, and yeah, thank you very much for listening.